This is Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. Here's your host, Mark News.
And good morning, and thanks so much for joining us today on Columbus Concerns. We're very happy to have with us the Regional Communications Manager for the American Red Cross here in Central Ohio. Don Hawkins is with us. And Don, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Mark.
First of all, the radio stations here are involved in an event coming up this week. It's called Rock and Roll Up Your Sleeve, and it's a give-in blood drive. And talk a little bit about when and where.
Yeah, so this is happening on Wednesday, the 20th. We're going to be at the Columbus Airport Marriott all day. This is a tremendous blood drive. We try to do it around August every year because we see a lot of drops in donations through August. The radio station jumped at the opportunity to work with us, and we're so thrilled to be working with them. And all you guys here have been amazing through this setup and process. It's going to be a really good day. It's going to be a really fun time, and we're going to help save a lot of lives that day.
Again, mark it on your calendar. It's Wednesday, August 20th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And again, as Don told us, at the Columbus Airport Marriott, that's at 1375 North Cassidy Avenue. Don, can you just walk in, or do you have to have an appointment?
Appointments are preferred, but we will accommodate you if you get there, however you get there, whenever you get there. If you want to make an appointment, you can visit redcrossblood.org or use the Red Cross Blood Donor app and use the sponsor code GIVEIN, and that'll take you right to this blood drive, and you can book one of the open appointment slots. You can also call 1-800-RED-CROSS to book an appointment.
Our guest on the program today from the American Red Cross is Don Hawkins. And Don, who is eligible to give blood?
So here in Ohio, you are allowed to give blood at the age of 16 with a parental consent or 17 without it. You need to be in good health and healthy. Just, if you have a pre-existing condition, you might not be able to donate. You can visit redcrossblood.org to see a deferral medications list. Those will tell you if you're not going to be able to donate because of any medications you're on. Let's just say you have a cold or something. Don't come to donate blood. We will turn you away that day. You need to be in relatively good health. And the one thing that I just learned this week that I did not know, you need to be at least 110 pounds to donate blood. I've got that well over covered, I'm good to go.
I think I'm okay too.
Yeah.
Any age limit as far as like how old you can be?
No, there is no age limit. If you're a little bit older and you might have low iron or something, you might get deferred that day. We have a new test. If you've given blood in the past, we always used to do the finger prick to test your iron levels. Now we have a non-puncture way to do that. You put your thumb on a little mechanism, and it tests your iron levels and all that. So you don't even have to get the needle stick to find out if you're eligible to give blood on the day of, which is really cool now.
Yeah, one needle stick will do it then. No, you don't have to have two.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Any particular types of blood that you need?
So all blood is needed all the time. If you're a type O blood type, your blood is especially needed. Type O negative is the one that hospital officials or medical professionals reach for whenever an emergency comes up and you don't know the person's blood type. So those donors are very, very important. But truly, all blood is needed on the shelves at all times. That way we can keep a strong supply for whatever comes up.
And you were telling me the other day that August is a particularly rough month when it comes to blood levels and the number of donations you get. It just sort of wanes in the summer.
Yeah, we see a dip through the entirety of summer, and August is like the true bottom of that dip. And that's where you're seeing folks that are still trying to get their final parts of vacations in, school's coming back, schedules are changing, weather is happening. Maybe it's just too hot to get out and go donate. It's been sweltering in the past week here in Columbus. It's all these little things add up to create issues and delays for folks who might normally give blood or might be thinking about it and just say they're not going to bother with it because of X, Y, or Z right now. And that's, that leads to the supply getting weak, which could lead to a shortage.
Our guest on the program today is the Regional Communications Manager for the American Red Cross, Don Hawkins. And again, it's redcrossblood.org is the website. They also have the Red Cross Blood Donor app, which I'm sure you can just download for your phone.
Yeah, you can download it on your phone, iPhone, Android, whatever you got. The app is on there. The app really does this cool thing. You can book your blood drives. It keeps track of all your information, shows you your blood type. It also shows you where your blood goes after your donation, which I find fascinating. My last two donations, I went to 2 different hospitals here in Columbus, but where we are a national blood bank, you know, the blood goes where it's needed most. Let's say an emergency happens and some East Coast state can't collect blood because of a weather situation. Mm-hmm. If they need blood, they might get some shipped in from us and from other parts of the country. And, you know, you say you gave blood 2 weeks ago, it winds up in the East Coast somewhere else. And that's truly fascinating. You might never, ever see the person that you gave blood to. You probably won't, especially if it's local even, but whatever. It's just so cool to see the blood goes everywhere.
And, you know, if people want to get on a regular donation schedule, can they also schedule that on the app?
Yeah. So what's really cool is if you're on the app, it'll tell you when your next donation date, when you're eligible. You're able to give blood every 56 days. So basically every 8 weeks. Whenever you donate and you book your appointment, say you book an appointment at this specific location in this part of town. You open the app and it's going to ask you, do you want to book again? You click yes, and it's going to show you the drives around that location from the eligible date where you're now going to be allowed to give again. Mm-hmm. So we try to simplify it as quickly and easily as possible. We also have a number of fixed sites here in Columbus and throughout the region, truly, where you can set up your appointment and come in every 8 weeks exactly on the day. And those places are open 4 to 6 days a week, which is really cool. And it's always the same staff working there. And you see a lot of the same people who come in to donate regularly there. And a lot of folks donate platelets at those locations too. And those are very important for cancer treatments and other emergencies. So we do a whole bunch of different ways to make sure you can make an impact in your community by donating.
Again, the website address is redcrossblood.org, or you can download the Blood Donor app from the Red Cross, or you can also give them a call. The phone number again?
1-800-RED-CROSS.
Well, that makes it easy to remember for sure.
Streamline it, baby.
We want to remind everybody of the Give In Blood Drive that's coming up. It's called Rock and Roll Up Your Sleeve, and it's Wednesday, August 20th from 8 in the morning till 6 p.m. at the Columbus Airport Marriott. If you're familiar with that, it's at 1375 North Cassidy Avenue. So they do encourage you to set up an appointment, but if you show up, they're going to take your blood. That's for sure. You talked about August being National Wellness Month, time to prioritize not only personal health and wellness, but of course, blood donations because you need it. And you have several incentives for people to come in during August and give blood.
Yeah, so, you know, the big incentive, we always try to make sure you have a good reason to come and donate blood, whether a giveaway of some sort. The big one for us right now is a $15 e-gift card that you're going to get after your donation is completed via your email. So within 2 days of coming and donating, you'll get an email to claim this, and you'll be able to use it for a number of different online merchants. Every time I donate and get one of these, I use it for movie tickets because, you know, movie tickets are a little pricey, and I need to save a little bit of money. So that's really nice to see that. The big health thing that we're doing, though, you know, with it being National Wellness Month, is A1C testing. For those unfamiliar, A1C testing is a way to screen for diabetes and prediabetes in folks. And if you get tested for once a year, is what they're suggesting. So if you gave blood in March when we were doing this before, you will not get an A1C test because it's only once a year. But if you've not received an A1C test, if you come and donate, that is free. That is just automatically going to be done in conjunction with us testing and processing your donation to make sure it's safe and good to go to a recipient.
And we all know how much all kinds of medical tests cost. And the fact that you can get an A1C test, not only do you need one, because you definitely, the earlier you know if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes, the better it is for you. But you can get it for free.
It's really a cool thing that we're doing, and I love it. You look at the stats, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say 1 in 10 people in our country have diabetes. Only a quarter of those are diagnosed, though. Mm-hmm. So, like, so many people are suffering from this, and they don't know why. Maybe they come and give blood this time, and they figure out, oh, this is what is impacting my life. Here's the steps I can start to take to remedy this.
Yeah. Also, you have a special incentive going on from August 29th to September 21st. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So we're bringing something back that was a huge thing for a lot of folks recently, in the recent past. We did Snoopy T-shirts a couple summers ago, and they were a huge thing. A lot of folks loved them. We saw so many first-time blood donors come out to get one of those shirts. I went and gave blood to go make sure I got one of the shirts, because who doesn't want a Snoopy shirt? So from the 29th of August through September 21st, you're going to receive a Peanuts mystery bag when you donate blood, and you're going to get one of 4 T-shirts while supplies last. So that's really cool. Bring your friends. Y'all can come donate and get shirts, and maybe you want to trade shirts with somebody. You can do whatever you need to do. It's going to be really cool. I haven't seen the shirts yet. I'm very excited to see them, though, because it's going to be really cool.
We are so happy that Don Hawkins is with us today. He's the Regional Communications Manager for the American Red Cross here in Columbus, and we're talking about blood donations, especially because it's a slow time in August for blood donations, and they really need your help. And you can give them a call at 1-800-RED-CROSS. Go on the website, which is redcrossblood.org, or you can download the Red Cross Blood Donor app, which is also very interesting and gives you lots of really great information. Again, our give-in blood drive is coming up on Wednesday, August 20th. This coming Wednesday at the Columbus Airport Marriott on North Cassidy Avenue from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Don, we've talked a lot about blood donations because, you really need it in August, and it's a big thing. We've got the blood drive coming up. But, the American Red Cross is always standing by, always ready for the next emergency to happen. Talk about how many folks you have here in the Central Ohio area, and how many volunteers you have that come in when they're really needed.
So we have regionally, our region is comprised of Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. We're all lumped in together, so you've got the same staff working throughout this entire area.
Right.
And we've got 50 plus folks, full-time staff, hundreds of volunteers. These are the folks that if an apartment catches fire overnight, they're the ones who answer the phone call. They go and they make sure that those people have some care going on. They're getting food, water, helping get a place to stay. We're there to alleviate that suffering in the immediacy of a disaster.
Yeah.
On top of that, we've got amazing folks that are doing more preparedness kind of things. We have this amazing program called Sound the Alarm, where you can call and book an installation to get free smoke alarms in your home. And we do these all the time throughout the year, partner with local fire departments. And I love these events so much because every time I go on one of these calls or one of these drives, I get to go into someone's home, and almost every time I find it's an elderly person, someone's grandma, someone's grandpa, that might not be able to get up on a ladder and check that smoke alarm, make sure it's up to date, make sure it's working.
Right.
We get in there and we make that person's home safer. And I'm thinking, man, I want someone to make sure my grandma's home is safe. Whenever I went back home, I checked her smoke alarms when I started working for us and realized what was going on. Expired smoke alarms. And I'm like, come on, Grandma, when was the last time you checked these? And she said the 90s.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of folks who just, they think they're good forever, and smoke alarms are only good for 7, 8, 9 years. So it's all these little things that we're doing out in the community that build up to make the community safer, stronger, better. That's not even touching on what we do with the armed forces folks. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
And, it's really cool to see all of my colleagues and all the volunteers that I get to work around do all these cool things that make people's lives better, safer, stronger everything.
If someone is interested in becoming a volunteer with the Red Cross, how do they go about doing that?
It's very, very simple. If you visit redcross.org/volunteer, you'll get prompted to put in your information. Then someone from our local volunteer services recruitment side will reach out to you to set up a screening and find out what your skills will be best used for here for local helping.
Our guest on the program today is the Regional Communications Manager for the Red Cross, Dawn Hawkins. And Dawn, one more time before the program is over, let's talk a little bit about the Rock and Roll Up Your Sleeve Give In Blood Drive coming up this Wednesday, August 20th. When and where and how can you get involved?
So that's going to be August 20th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Columbus Airport Marriott. If you want to book an appointment, you can visit redcrossblood.org or use the Red Cross Blood Donor app and use the sponsor code GIVEIN. You know, this drive is going to make a huge impact in the blood supply here locally. We're going to see, we see the dip in donations through the summer. We see it slow to pick up usually at the start of fall. And that's where we get into a situation where the supply can get kind of strained, especially because, you know, weather situations through the start of fall can be very chaotic. We've seen a lot of flooding, not locally, but regionally. We've seen flooding down in Kentucky, through Tennessee, North Carolina, all those areas. Hurricane season is going to go strong for another month, month and a half. All those things can cause issues in the blood supply. And, you know, if we weren't able to collect blood locally, other states are going to send blood to us. So whenever they can't collect, we got to help them. And that's the beauty and the strength of the Red Cross being a national blood bank. You know, the blood is probably going to be needed locally, but if it's not, it's going to get to where it needs to be.
Yeah. Well, but if you look at it, anything that disrupts your life is going to disrupt blood collections.
Exactly. You know, maybe it's just too hot. You know, it's really, really, really hot out there and you're dehydrated. If you're dehydrated, you can't give blood because your levels aren't going to be right. Mm-hmm. You got to hydrate before you go to donate. If you're coming to donate at the given blood drive, hydrate. Please. It's going to make everything way better. You know, but we keep looking at these statistics. The Red Cross covers about 40% of the nation's blood supply. Mm-hmm. And our numbers show that about 62% of the U.S. population is eligible to give blood. Only 3% of those 62% actually donate.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's going to be a lot of folks that hear this that have never given blood before. Maybe they've thought about it and they haven't in the past. Whatever reasons you have for not giving, I promise you the impact you're going to make on someone's life is worth facing the fear of donating blood.
Well, again, it's the Rock and Roll Up Your Sleeve Give In Blood Drive, Wednesday, August 20th at the Columbus Airport Marriott, 1375 North Cassidy Avenue. You can go on the redcrossblood.org website. Again, that's redcrossblood.org, or go to the Blood Donor app, or even give them a call at 1-800-RED-CROSS. Once again, the Regional Communications Manager, Dawn Hawkins, has been our guest today. And Dawn, thanks so much for stopping by, and maybe I'll see you on Wednesday.
You know, thank you so much for having me and letting us get the message out about how important this blood drive is, and I hope to see you Wednesday. And
I also want to give a shout out to, from our one radio station, 99.7 The Blitz, Ronnie Hunter, who has been our point person on the blood drive, and she will be there as well this weekend. So, Dawn Hawkins, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Also on the program this morning, we want to talk a little bit about going back to school with a representative from the Better Business Bureau. With us today is our guest, the president and CEO of the BBB of Central Ohio, Judy Dollison is here. And Judy, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. We're happy to be here today.
You know, back to school time, and everybody's so excited about it, especially the parents.
Yes.
But something that you recently talked about that I have never thought about before, but being safe when sharing back-to-school photos.
Right.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it's such a common practice. We all do it. We all see it where we share our kids' first day of school pictures. And it's a great memory you want to capture. But you should exercise some caution when you do that, because what happens is you may inadvertently share too much detail about your student that could put them at risk for a scammer or a predator. So if you give the school's name or your student's full name, grade level, it may give them just enough information that they could target that student. And we even used some of that information as our own passwords for our bank accounts and our, our financials.
Sure.
So to have that information shared, you may also be exposing yourself.
It's interesting the things you have to think about these days.
And even if you think about it, the picture, if it's the school's in the background or your home address is in the background, your street sign or a park that's nearby, all of those could be just enough that gives a scammer or a predator some information that they shouldn't have.
Well, there's been that trend I've noticed where parents will have their student, maybe an older picture and a newer one, and they literally have a sign with all their vital information on it.
Right, yes. And it's really just, there's a lot of that sharing. You may think you're just sharing to your close network of friends, but, that can get out. We know that some of that information can be further shared and exposed. So really, if you are sharing, and you should limit, but think about, keeping that to a close network, checking your privacy settings on your social media accounts so that it is not going out on a public platform, and encourage your network to not reshare it in a public platform.
And then once that happens, then you have to watch out for the phony friend requests coming in.
That's right. And, we know that it can be a friend request from someone you don't know or someone you're not already friends with that and it might not be your friend, or it could even be someone that you're currently connected with. And in that case, it's, someone has maybe hacked your friend's account and they're sending another request. And again, it's not them. So really make sure, it's always a good idea just to pick up the phone, right? If you're suspicious for any reason that the friend is not really who they say they are, just ask.
Yeah, everybody gets those.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I definitely do not know her.
Right.
Yes, I get those all the time. Also, look, getting to the back to school shopping again.
Yeah.
So many people go out, they've got their list in their hand, but they don't go with a budget.
Right.
That's really important.
It is. It's so easy to be swayed by everything that's out there and want to extend your purchases beyond what you're budgeted for. So, we always recommend that you go in with a budget in mind. You, again, do your research. We talk a lot about research at BBB. Do your research and find out where the sales are, where the best prices are, and try to, stick to that budget and that plan and where you're going to shop.
Judy, when we talk about back to school in Central Ohio, we also have to talk back to Ohio State.
I know,
Ohio State
that's coming up quickly.
It is coming up quickly, and that big game is coming up, that very first one. And I know that you always have a lot of trouble when it comes to Ohio State tickets and people getting scammed online because, there are no physical tickets anymore. You can't get a paper ticket. You can't go to the stadium and hold up your two fingers and buy two tickets. It doesn't work that way anymore. So talk about some of the problems with buying Ohio State tickets and talk a little bit about how you can protect yourself.
Yeah. So with any big game or concert and anything that is, in the city that's big, scammers are going to tie into that because they are great at seizing opportunities. So, Ohio State football is always big. And so they're going to key in on that like they always do. So what we find is that, again, people are buying tickets that don't exist. So they're following social media links to fake platforms or to other apps that are just literally fake tickets for sale. And sometimes they'll even show you, a digital copy of the ticket. But if you try to redeem the ticket when you get it, in many cases you don't ever receive it, you might get to the venue and find out, it's not a valid ticket. So lots to look out for. We always recommend that you buy from the direct venue, if at all possible. In this case, it's Ohio State Buckeyes. But if you can't buy directly from the seller, then you can use a ticket broker, which many of us do. But there's a good resource for that. You can get on bbb.org to vet the ticket broker. You can also get on the National Association of Ticket Brokers, which is a great organization that has a 200% guarantee for any tickets sold from one of their member organizations. So you know that if you are dealing with someone with that organization, that they are a verified broker and that there's a money back guarantee. There's a great website. It is verifiedticketsource.com to check out if they are members of that National Ticket Brokers Association. But also some other tips just when you're buying tickets. You want to look at the ticket itself before you make that purchase to see the date and the location and the time. Sometimes what we find is the tickets have all that information, but it's different. It's like the wrong venue or the wrong date or the wrong team that they're playing. So verify that all the details match or that there are details. Sometimes there aren't details, which is another red flag. Again, always use a credit card to make an online purchase because there's additional recourses that you have with a credit card through a financial institution versus a Venmo or a PayPal where you're going through a peer-to-peer platform. They don't have quite as much recourse if there is scam or fraud with that purchase.
Same thing goes for a debit card, correct?
Yes, that's right. A debit card is really the same as cash. It's an immediate withdrawal from your account. So that credit card has that built-in time lag and a little bit more protection to take additional recourse if you need to.
I think most of the entities now, like Ohio State or maybe the Blue Jackets or whomever, they have sort of a secondary ticket seller mechanism when it comes to their websites.
Yes. And that's a great option because then again, you're on that original ticket sellers platform, which is a really good place, if at all possible, to be on that.
And again, bbb.org, you can get lots of tips there and just find out ways of whether or not your ticket seller is good or not.
Yeah, absolutely. The bbb.org has a directory of hundreds of thousands, millions of businesses in the country, but over 65,000 here in Central Ohio. And it's a great source to verify a business that you're working with, whether it's a ticket broker or any type of business. You can get on bbb.org, type in the name of the company or the industry, type in the location where the business is located, and you'll pull up a business profile that will give you a lot of information and a letter rating about the company based on BBB standards.
Judy Dollison is here, and she is the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Central Ohio, giving us lots of great tips. And as we approach fall, it's hard to believe it's already here, but not only back to school, but back to college. And a lot of people are buying that Ohio State merchandise this time of year.
Yes.
But there's a problem when it comes to counterfeit merchandise. Talk about why that's a problem for the buyer.
Right. Just like with any online online seller, there's an opportunity to get counterfeit merchandise. And we see it again with those links in social media, take you to a website, looks like a legitimate company. It actually isn't. It's a counterfeit company. They're only selling you counterfeit items. So, you've put they're typically, high-end items that you're paying for an authentic piece of merchandise and even a signed piece of merchandise, and you may get a counterfeit knockoff or not something that's legitimate. You also need to check out AutoPen. Some will, if you want to have a signed item, you really need to read the details to see if that is a actual signed item versus an AutoPen. And a legitimate company will tell you if it's not, and you can make your decision accordingly. But it is another layer that you need to watch out for.
And things are so hard to tell the difference anymore when it comes to real and fake.
Right.
For just about everything.
For everything. And again, just some of those same online shopping tips are good when you're looking at, the sports memorabilia. You want to have that HTTPS. You want to do your research. Again, these are typically, more expensive items. And if you're buying an authentic memorabilia, you want to make sure you're dealing with a reputable seller. So go to bbb.org and do your research.
And Judy Dollison, thanks so much for being here today from the Better Business Bureau of Central Ohio.
Thanks for listening to Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. You can send questions or comments about today's show to Columbus Concerns in care of this station, 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215. or email us at columbusconcerns@napcomedia.com.